We will convene. This meeting is for consideration of proposed findings and fact, conclusions about law and a decision in regards to the application for appeal of the planning and zoning denial for request by Jesse Saxton and Jared Gifford on behalf of Aryn A. Conrad for a variance to waive the road frontage requirement in the A1 zone for two parcels located in the northwest side of Foothill Road, south of 81st North, Idaho Falls, Idaho, Bonneville County. Those present are all three commissioners and then some planning and zoning staff. A few members of the public, we need to inform you that this is a public meeting. You're welcome to attend, but we don't take any additional hearing. That was taken the public comments at the time of the hearing. So we'll begin by Michelle.
Yes.
Having you walk through your proposed findings of fact, conclusions, and discussions, and then if we have any questions or modifications that you wish to make in this, then we'll address those as we go through. And if you want to kind of summarize but read through so we have it on the record.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Michelle Hagan, Bonneville County Planning and Zoning. This matter comes before the Bonneville County Commissioners as an appeal of the Planning and Zoning Commission's denial of the request for a variance in an A1 zone to waive the road outlined in Bonneville County zoning ordinance 1-437 to allow for the development of land northwest of the Eastern Idaho Railroad into two parcels. The request for the variance was made by Jesse Saxton and Jared Gifford on behalf of Aryn A. Conrad on property located on the northwest side of Foothill Road and south of 81st North in Bonneville County. The Planning and Zoning Commission heard this matter on July 28, 2021, with a unanimous denial of the variance request. The appeal to the Bonneville County Commissioners was filed by the applicants. A subsequent hearing was held by the County Commissioners on September 27th, 2021. After having reviewed the testimony, the zoning ordinance and the comprehensive plan, the reference information submitted, the Commissioners make the following findings. That the parcel is in the A1 zone, is adjacent to A1 and G1 zoning, it's identified as urban residential land use, and it is approximately 25 acres. The parcel is separated from North Foothill Road by the Eastern Idaho Railroad right-of-way and is located on the northwest side of the railroad. That the parcel has historically been farmed and has not been developed with a single-family dwelling on the property. The original farm included additional acreage. The original family homestead dwelling was located on an adjacent parcel that is under a different ownership. The applicants provided information during the Planning and Zoning Commission's public hearing regarding properties that were currently developed within Bonneville County that do not have the required road frontage on a county maintained and approved road, as well as the required lot width that continues through to the building line. Staff provided information addressing these different properties. And then 10, during the public hearing, the county commissioners questioned if there are other locations in which a building permit has been issued for a single family dwelling that does not have any road frontage as a result of railroad right-of-way. The applicant provided no examples of evidence during the public hearing, and staff was not aware of any locations with those conditions during the public hearing. 11, during the public hearing with the county commissioners, the commissioners asked the question if any variances have been approved for a parcel without road frontage. The applicant did not provide examples of variances approved. Staff was not aware of any variances that had been approved for developing a parcel without road frontage at the hearing. Then I Moving through to the conclusion. In two, the Planning and Zoning Commission may grant variances from the strict letter of this ordinance where a property owner can show that A, because of unusual narrowness, shallowness, or shape of specific lot or parcel of land, or B, by reason of peculiar topographical features or other special circumstances peculiar to the particular lot or parcel of land, the strict application of the terms of this ordinance would prohibit the use of the applicant's property in a manner reasonably similar to that of other lots in the same zone. It is the board's opinion that the property is not unusual in shape or layout to require a variance to develop the property. The circumstance about the property is that it does not have road frontage on a county road as a result of the existing Eastern Idaho Railroad right-of-way. The location of the railroad right-of-way has been in place predating the adoption of zoning within the county in 1959. There are properties throughout the county that are adjacent to a railroad that do not have frontage on a county road. However, there is still the option to construct a road and comply with the road frontage requirement. All right, 3A. This is special circumstances do actually attach to the particular property covered by the application, which does not apply generally to other properties in the same zone. It is the board's opinion that the A1 zone requires road frontage in order to develop a property with a single family dwelling. B, because of special circumstances, the appellant's property is deprived of privileges possessed by the properties in the same zone. It is the board's opinion that there are multiple properties with the A1 or G1 zones that have the same requirement for complying with the road frontage requirement in order to utilize the division rights on the subject property. There are circumstances throughout the county in which there is insufficient road frontage or acreage in order to utilize all possible division rights for the parent parcel. The applicants have the option of creating road frontage through the subdivision platting process, therefore complying with the road frontage requirement. C, the granting of such variance will not substantially affect the comprehensive plan of the zoning in the county. The comprehensive plan has required improvements for all developments regardless of size and scope. In all land use designations, the comprehensive plan requires safe access to public roads. The zoning ordinance provides health, safety, and welfare to the public by establishing rules and regulations for development in the county. The county consistently requires safe access to public roads. There are multiple parcels within the county that do not have frontage on a county road and are bound to the same development challenges. D, adherence to the strict letter of the ordinance will cause difficulties and hardships, the imposition of which is unnecessary in order to carry out the purposes of the zoning map. It is the purpose of the zoning ordinance to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the public and to establish a uniform and consistent plan for land use and development in the county. There are costs associated with development of property, and those costs are borne by those that do the development. The actual costs to meet the development standards vary from one project to the next. The scale of developments may vary from one lot to hundreds of lots. Just because a particular development plan costs significantly more than another and is not as cost effective is not a justification to grant a variance and waive the road frontage requirement. Individuals must decide if they can or cannot or are willing to spend the necessary amount to develop a particular property because of its particular cost of development. In this case, the applicants are proposing to develop a property that has been historically used for agricultural purposes only and develop the property for 2 single-family dwellings. It is the commissioner's opinion that the enforcement of uniform standards, in this case, road frontage, is necessary and not justified to be waived just because of the cost. E, the hardship is not the result of any action by the property owner taken after the effective date of this ordinance. The railroad purchased their right-of-way property in 1914. The original farm has been divided between the heirs. The parcel has never been developed with a home site or single-family dwelling. The applicants are proposing to change the historic ag-only use of the property. The applicants are proposing to divide the property and are in effect creating and compounding the hardship with the request to develop 2 single-family dwellings. The property has never been developed with a home site. The proposed development of the property would be subject to the current rules and regulations. Decision. Based upon the above facts, it is the decision of the Bonneville County Commissioners that the request for variance to waive the road frontage requirement outlined in Bonneville County zoning ordinance 1-437 to allow for the development of land northwest of the Eastern Idaho Railroad into 2 parcels be denied.
I do have one question on her comment on the decision part, because this was an appeal of the decision of the planning and zoning for denial.
Yes,
So shouldn't we spell in there that we're upholding the planning and zoning?
it is there. I just did not read that section. I'm sorry. It's before the decision. I have, based on the testimony,
Okay. Yeah, I was going down as you were summarizing.
I was trying to summarize everything.
Yeah.
I didn't want to read the entire thing for you all.
Okay.
I had a little bit of a hard time with this because I do not agree that the property is not unusual in shape or layout. I think it is unusual, particularly in layout because of the railroad. And I kind of felt like the railroad was a bit of a natural barrier. I mean, it came in so long ago, there was no choice. The railroad became just part of the topography of the land. And so I really struggled with that I felt like it did qualify as being unusual in shape or layout, which caused some concern of whether, it should qualify for variance. I guess is what changed my mind on it, and is why I can support this, is because there is another option. That the road can be built. Am I understanding that correctly? That they do have an option to still comply with the road frontage, even with the unusual condition of the land due to the railroad. And so for that reason, I'd be willing to make a motion whenever you're ready.
And I agree with those concerns, but I think it was spelled out. I underlined it 2 or 3 times. We have to establish uniform, consistent parameters for the land to protect the health, safety, and welfare. To pick and choose. There's a lot of that property, especially along that railroad up on the Foothill Road. Whether or not they could get lucky enough to give them an access, but then you've got a ton of railroad crossings, and it does create a safety issue. And so I agree there are other options, and there were other options, because I think there were 4 division rights. This one across the streets, they could have been divided up differently to utilize those division rights. So, yeah, that addressed my concern. Oh, okay, so that's why I can remember you here, so, yeah, Commissioner Walker, did you listen to the transcripts?
I did, and I looked through this, and the only question I had was the one that Commissioner Lee raised, and
That's probably what we need to point out, is Commissioner Walker wasn't here, but he has listened to the hearings and transcripts, so he would be qualified to weigh in on this, so tables open, we're open for a motion.
I'd make a motion that we agree to findings of fact as written, and we support the denial of the appeal and uphold the action of the planning commission.
We have a second.
I had second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we'll sign this. Those participants that are here are welcome to pick up a copy up front once Steve gets that, so you can see all of the detail if you're interested on this. So thank you, everybody.
I'd also like to commend our staff, Michelle, the way this was written. I think we gathered all the facts and expressed them very well. So,